Yo, what is up? Happy Thursday. Welcome back to the Culture and Cannabis Podcast. I am back with my co-host, my good friend, soon to be married, JC Coates.
What's good, my brother? How's everything?
I'm good. I'm full-time Tony. I didn't introduce myself before I jumped in.
You need no introduction.
I need no intro at this point. We're doing the double live. We got the live on Facebook, live on Instagram.
Do you watch the live Facebook? You know, it completely changes the whole experience.
I think watching live is such an interesting idea, right? The even idea about being live in any facet is just so interesting. So, it's just been so cool, right? Over the past, we've been doing this has almost been 2 years now. We've been doing this freaking podcast.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's been nuts, dude. And so it's just been interesting seeing, the growth and how we always have been doing it live, and it's something that we consistently been doing, even from the New Leaf days.
Yeah, I mean, even from the New Leaf days. I think it makes it like 4 years that I've been, participating in the podcast medium. But I mean, listen, for you guys that listen, thank you, right?
Yeah.
We appreciate it. We strike content marketing on a lot of different mediums. But podcasting is one of my favorites.
Yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun. Honestly, I have a great time with it. And if you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, go check that out, Culture and Cannabis, on YouTube. We have some great videos. I just dropped some how-to videos up there, and
I think we're gonna drop how-to videos.
A lot,
like weekly.
A lot of how-to videos. It's gonna be really cool. I think we're gonna drop the first one this Friday, tomorrow. So that'll be cool. I've been drinking a lot of cold brew.
I have. You've been doing the cold brew
reviews. I was gonna call them cold breviews.
Oh,
but
I see what you did there.
But a little tough. Yeah, my cousin Anthony, actually out in Boston, was the one that told me about that. But yeah,
could quite possibly be.
It might be the next one. Cold breviews. But I feel really bad because we just shot a video and we did it at Grouchy John's, and I just want to give them a quick shout out because I gave it a 7.7, which is a solid score. That's a phenomenal score in my books.
Could be the
highest score that I've given so far. It probably is like an 8.1. After sipping on it a little bit, like letting the ice melt, it's just become more tasty over time. They got there's more Grouchy John's in town that we can try.
I'll have to go back. Maybe I'll try it next
time. And they're a small business in town, and small businesses are important here in Las Vegas, man. And we need politicians to care about small businesses. And we have a great guest today, JC. Who do we got?
A guy that I was introduced to through the DMs, right? And the DMs are still powerful on the IG. Don't sweat them.
Don't sleep on them.
He introduced me to a young man that is running for City Council Ward 6. We had a chance to connect on the phone. He has an amazing American dream story. We're going to dive into all that stuff and more. Dweh Toeque is here with us today. Dweh, you out there?
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Nice, man. Doing well. Appreciate the time. Thanks for coming on. Yeah, thanks for coming on the show. I think last week or maybe a couple weeks ago we went live and had a really cool conversation on the Culture and Cannabis page. And
that was a cool conversation.
Yeah. You have a great story that I'd love to dive into. But first, just tell everyone who you are and what you got going on.
My name is Dweh Toeque. I'm running for City Council in Ward 6. I love Las Vegas, and I love the culture here. And I see a lot of great things in the future by bringing my policies to the city for the election in November of 2022.
Nice. So, okay, Ward 6. This is it's a big deal, right?
It's a hot ward.
It's a hot ward.
It's the largest ward in Las Vegas also.
So, and then who is in that seat now? It's Michelle Fiore, right? And
Michelle Fiore.
Yeah, Fiore. Yeah. So, it's like a tall mountain you're climbing there, and I'll give you a lot of kudos for that. So let's talk about where some of that gumption comes from. Where do you think what kind of drove you to get started in politics?
Well, what drove me to get into politics is what happened last year with George Floyd, the horrible death that happened to him, and it really motivated me to look at where I was to politics, and I did a lot of research on how do we get to this place where we're constantly seeing so much death in the Black community, so I found these two programs that started back in the 90s called the 1033 and 1122 program. What they've done is actually militarize all 50 states' police departments by giving them large budgets to purchase discounted militarized equipment, and it's become an occupying force within our communities instead of being a friendly neighbor that's watching our back in our city. So we want to really get back to that place where police are actually there to protect and serve, and not to be an occupying force within our city.
So I think you're bringing up some interesting points. So what do you think is the solution to that?
The solution to that is we have to have a system in our community where we're actually looking out for each other and taking care of the people that are struggling, and actually caring about the community instead of just throwing more money at the situation when it comes to our policing and just having more police, instead of like saying, okay, how can we actually help them? So I actually have some things that I've researched. So child care is one big area we want to help people with. So if you're a single parent and you're working, sometimes it's difficult to have that, find someone to actually take care of your kid while you're at work. So having a voucher program and have your child be taken care of by a professional, so you actually have the time to go make the money you need to make to save up to go back to school and actually change your life for you and your child. That's important.
No, I mean, yeah, I have to agree with you. Like giving the police bigger guns and more body armor and more bulletproof cars, right? It's not always the answer, right? Making them scarier isn't going to change the behavior of the people, right? And so when you talk about the solution, right, you're pointing to let's help some of the people get into a different position through kindness, right? To where maybe they're not out causing crimes. Is that fair to say?
That's very fair to say, because from the research I've looked at from the CDC, they've actually noticed whenever you put more emphasis on punishment and not so much emphasis on finding a solution, people just repeat the crime because they're not seeing any way out. So they go back and repeat the crime again. So we focus more on solution-oriented systems within the community. We're going to have people actually have more choices to make better decisions within a community. It makes the community safer. It makes us actually look out for our neighbors, because everybody at the end of the day, we're all neighbors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. So, all right. So, the solutions and the people. Let's talk about some of the programs that you're running on and some of the solutions and programs that you put in place for. Let's talk about the cannabis space with everything that's happening in Nevada and all the unfinished business that we have to do. What are some of the programs that you might put in place for the cannabis industry?
So I would really want to push through I think last year they were talking about possibly having lounges at all dispensaries, so people won't have the option of, they purchase the product, not have to drive home. And then you risk maybe getting pulled over and the cops are you why do you have this on you? And all these different questions will come up. So I think it'll be a lot better if we have all dispensaries within the city of Las Vegas have the option for people to actually smoke on their premises instead of having to, travel with the product back to their home to have to do it at their house.
Is that getting voted on?
Yeah, so they're talking about passing a bill that's something like that. But
when does that bill go to? I don't want to cut you off, but when does that go to?
I don't, to be honest. I do not know, but I know they'll probably be towards the beginning of summer. Yeah, so probably closer to May.
Oh, okay.
Will probably get voted on, but there's still fine details, right? I mean, touching on the idea of doing that dispensary, it's just, and that's great, right? The idea that tourists can come to town and they could buy cannabis at a dispensary and then go to the dispensary's lounge, but it still creates that problem, where it makes it like only old witch right guys can get these cannabis lounge licenses, right? Where they're not necessarily the most fit to do that, or they have the most creativity, right? And so I think a big deal is making sure that local business owners can get licenses, and maybe even building in some social equity.
Yeah, the social equity is a huge part. I think it definitely needs to be there, and especially with everything that's happened with the license that have been released. You know what I mean? can we at least have some responsibility in this next round of licenses when it comes to social equity? Dweh, how do you stand on the current state of the way that licenses are out here and the way that some of, minorities where we're at in this whole mess, right? Like, what would you do in terms of social equity when it comes to the cannabis industry in Nevada?
Well, I would definitely want to open it up to where we have more opportunity for people of color in the BIPOC community to actually get these licenses, so they can actually open up dispensaries and take part in the growth of the cannabis industry here in Las Vegas.
So, do you think we should have more licenses be released to just anyone, or do you think they just like a small another round of licenses should be released to like social equity applicants?
I think we should really try to look at the data and see who wants to participate in the industry, and actually tailor it to make sure that we're not just handing out licenses to anyone, but actually give out licenses to those that are have an understanding of the industry, like have great ideas, really want to expand on it and do things that have never been seen before.
It's important, man.
Yeah, I mean, it is important, right? Checking the data. What else is important to you when it comes to the city of Las Vegas and running for Ward 6?
So I'm glad you asked that question. So I also want to deal with the mental health issues we have in our city. So I actually went to speak to officers here in Las Vegas, and one thing they were telling me is a lot of their phone calls they get are for people that have mental health issues out in the city. So but the way they're dealing with these mental calls are very violent. So we want to make sure that we have people coming out, like social workers with the orderly, to actually de-escalate the situation and get the person the proper care they need to get them to a facility, to actually get them calmed down so they can actually get the proper help they need. Like, we don't need more force when someone having a mental break. When it's not the best way to handle it.
I mean, it's such a huge problem in our communities, and especially in the downtown area. And anyone that lives in Vegas and in the downtown area, there's a lot of homeless population. There's always been a lot of drug abuse and all kinds of things going on down there. And to the fact to where it's just like you just notice, right, that when you go to other cities, you just don't see as many homeless people in the streets as you do in downtown Las Vegas. So it's definitely a problem, right? And it definitely stems from mental illness. Do you have like some programs put in place or kind of planned out or outlined that you would do to kind of assist in this situation?
Yes, so we have a program that I want to bring into play called the Needle Exchange Program. So the Needle Exchange Program will be two-part. We'll have vans that will drive around to, check for areas that we know that a lot of people congregate, make sure there's not needles on the floor or any type of contraband on the floor that somebody can step on or, get pricked by. We'll make sure the place is clean. We also want to make it where people can actually meet with a doctor and talk about issues that are having to get them weaned off of those drugs, to get them clean, so they can actually become productive people in our community again.
Yeah, one thing I noticed, like, my fiance works for Allstate, and this is some of the marketing that they're restricted to with Allstate is kind of low. So they do a lot of like, in-face community actions, events and so forth. And some of the stuff they do is they'll take sandwiches and waters and bags of food and feed the homeless, right? And what's so crazy about that is like
one of the best videos I've ever seen was Joy running.
Joy running. Well, what's crazy about it is that we went and teamed up with a group that does it on a regular basis, right? And she does it every so often. But the people that do it every week, right? They have a purpose, and they're down there, and they have like the assembly line, and they're making bologna sandwiches for as far as you can see, and then they get it stacked up and they hit the streets. But what I'm getting at is that when they set up in these certain areas, like for like 30 minutes, there'll be a huge line of homeless people that come up literally to the back of their SUV or minivan, and they'll get a bag of food that has a sandwich in it, a bologna sandwich, slice of cheese, and a water. But it's not legal for them to do that. Did you know that? And it's bad, right? And so it's like you have this kind of like feeling, okay, we got to go now. We got to go. We don't want to get caught. It's just like, I wish somebody would make it to where some programs to where they're, they could just set up some feeding stations, right? And some blanking stations.
Well, I want to do more than just like, because in my opinion, people pay taxes every single year. When you pay taxes, that's an investment in your community. Your government is supposed to help those that can't help themselves when you're trying to work and contribute to the community. Sometimes you don't have the time or the energy to actually help people in the community, but your government is supposed to come in and pick up that slack and take care of those people that have lost their way because they are part of our community. They're part of us. I myself have gone through homelessness in my past. So I know that feeling when you are working hard and then you just keep hitting a wall and everything falls right from under you. So what I'm proposing is not just a needle exchange program, but also free housing for the homeless to get them off the street, keep them in a safe environment, and help guide them back into working. So that way they're part of the community, which they were in the beginning, but now they need more help than before. So, and I know some people say, how are we going to pay for all these different things? But we have, with the 1033 program, last year, they spent over $655 million on our police. That is that is a massive amount of money in terms of what they spent in Portland. Portland has a much larger population. They spent a third of our budget when it comes to our police. So we definitely have the resources to create a needle exchange program, offer free housing to these individuals, help them get cleaned up, help them get jobs, and then they're also paying taxes, which is that money is going to be go right back into the pot to help the next person that's having a hard time and needs some help from the community.
I was going to just make a point. So I think you brought up two points I wanted to talk about. One, taxes. I definitely want to talk about that. And all these programs sound great, but once again, you brought up the point of how are we going to pay for it? And then you just brought up the point of the comparison between Las Vegas and Portland. And the one thing that I would say is that, Portland was occupied by, a bunch of people, occupying streets for weeks on end, right? There was, live streams of different movements out there occupying the streets. And I think it was because they had backed down their police force. How do you think, Las Vegans will feel about, that comparison to Portland, who just went through a lot of strife, right, with protesting?
Well, protesting is a part of our right as a citizen of this country. I mean, we all have the right to protest, and I would never tell someone how they should protest. A protest is a way of bringing attention to issues that some of us are not paying attention to because we're taking care of our daily to-do lists. So I'm all for people protesting. I'm all for people expressing themselves to get a point across, to start a conversation, which can lead to change. So at the end of the day, that protest inspired me to say, you know what they were protesting about was about change in how we police within our cities, which made me look into the 1033 program, 1122 program, and seeing how it's creating a massive bloat on our line items on our budget that needs to be looked at in more detail, and let's start to restructure how we pay for certain services, and also take a lot of pressure off of our police. So our police are overworked. They are overworked with mental health phone calls, and these individuals need care and compassion. So with the plan I'm proposing, it's going to have a lot of care and compassion in there, to where not just for the people that need the help, but also for the police, because they have families that they go to, and they don't want to go on the job super tired and make a bad decision, which can cost the state and the city money from coming out of your pocket. Because we're not just paying for the police's services, but also pay for when someone gets shot wrongly and then they get sued by the city, and now that's more tax dollars come out of your pocket, where we could have just helped them with programs that are a lot cost effective, take pressure off the police, and actually can save us a lot more capital in the long run and keep our cities safer and keep our citizens a lot more happier.
No, and I completely agree with that. I think that there's so many budgets in the government that's just completely overwhelmed, unnecessary amount of resources going into things, where places like schools, mental health programs, helping the homeless. I mean, all those things are way more important than, buying a new set of SWAT tanks for the Las Vegas Police Department. But, do you have like a proposed budget when it comes to that, of like showing where you'd be taking the money from to, support these programs?
Yeah, so the money will be coming from the current budget program I discussed, the 1033, 1122 program. There's a lot of money being appropriated for the militarized equipment. So we would put a stop to that immediately. And all that extra capital, we will start to open up all these different programs I discussed, which is the child care program, the needle exchange program, local farmers markets, healthcare for all, free education, access to parks, local community gardens, free housing, elderly care, and reparations for the Black community.
And you believe that the budget from the 1033 is going to be enough to fund all those programs?
Definitely.
Awesome. That's great.
Because I've seen these programs enacted in other cities. I've seen the crime drop. So these programs are based off of studies from the CDC and various other federal agencies that have shown that by introducing programs that are more helpful in the community, you actually save the tax dollars a lot of money, and you actually improve the livelihoods of everybody in the community.
No, 100%. Yeah.
I love the ambition, and some people could be like, pulling their hair out right now about different views or whatever. But when have you ever lost your way? You know what I mean? Like I've lost my way before, and not everyone has, right? And they don't understand what it's like to be lost, right? And then they're not to be kind of like, what if you get lost today, right? And you're homeless and you need a place to stay, and you go walk down to the Catholic charities, right? This place is supposed to house you and help you. You're not getting in, and it's filthy, and it's dirty, and it's basically running rampant with mentally ill people that are having trouble finding some of these social programs. So, my hat's off to you, because I don't understand all the budgets and where it needs to go to, but I do know that we could probably do a better job at some of our social programs, because I believe that we are all connected, and it's not cool to just leave people behind. You know what I mean? People that have lost their way, deserve a hand up, right? And those that can offer that hand up, there's a blessing for them. But what do you think? Full time, Tony.
And JC,
yeah.
I also want to touch on what you said about the churches. And we also want to think about people in our community from the LGBTQ community. Mm-hmm. Some of them don't get access to these programs because of the life choices that they chose. They're still people. They treat them like they're not. And they are excluded from these programs, and they are left in worse situations, especially Black trans women. They die at a higher rate than anyone else when they're out on the street with no help. So we have to make sure these programs that I'm proposing help everybody in any situation that you're in. We don't want to discriminate at any level, because everybody, at the end of the day, we're all human. We're all connected, and we have to view each other through that lens consistently. We cannot let anything that is detrimental to someone's life block us from making a decision that's going to hurt them even more, all because of intrinsic biases within our mind. We have to look past these horrible norms that have been perpetuated through our forefathers, and grow past them, and have more compassion when it comes to how we write policy. So that way we have a better community, because it starts from the top. And I'm willing to get into this system and learn more than what I've learned as a civilian, and actually bring that knowledge into the system and actually improve it with the help of people like you having me on this platform, and those listening, by contributing to the campaign and giving this campaign more legs and more life, so we can do great things for the city of Las Vegas.
Nice.
That's great.
That's great. So how long do you have on the campaign trail? When's vote time coming up? How long are you out there? And
So
go ahead.
I'm actually very early. I'm the first actually that I've seen to be campaigning right now. The campaign started in January of this year. This is now the third month that we're in right now. So I'm looking forward to constantly keep talking about the platform and growing the membership, because we also have a membership set up on the website. People can join the community and be a part of the dialogue and write suggestions on what they want to see in Las Vegas. And also, we're always looking for volunteers to be involved in the campaign to help with phone banking and various other things that we need to do to keep the campaign alive and thriving.
100%. Yeah, that campaign life is a different one, man. It's an animal and a beast. So I commend you for starting so early.
Yeah, no, that's great. So do you have any events coming up in regards to the campaign, and anything that special that somebody might be able to tune in or join into? Or?
Yes. So this Saturday there is a event coming up. Let me make sure I get the right information. It's going to be on this Saturday. We're going to be doing some charity work by talking about, it's called Justice for All. It's going to be at the Bellagio Fountain at 7 p.m. on March 6, 2021. This is to talk about some of the slain people that have fallen in our country, like George Floyd, for example. So we want to just pay remembrance to them and talk and all be together and talk about things we want to see different happening in our country. But I do have some lights out of that situation. The George Floyd act just passed in the House, so now it's going to be going to the Senate, so we can actually see some really good reforms when it comes to policing. So this is very exciting. I'm very excited about seeing that get passed in the House, so that way, so it get passed in the Senate. That way, the president can actually sign off on it, and then we can start seeing some really good reforms throughout the country. And the good thing is my policy called Budget Your Values actually lines up with a lot of things that are coming out of the House in the Senate. So I'm very excited to be the person that takes that seat in Ward 6 and really bring those ideas and those policies to life here in Las Vegas.
Awesome, man. That's awesome. Where can they find you? On Instagram,
they can
Facebook?
So they can find me at www.toeque.com. And all my social medias are there. My Instagram is there, my Facebook, my Twitter, everything's all the links on that website. Once again, that's www.toeque.com. And it is a social media page as well, so you can actually create your own account. People can communicate with each other and talk about all the policies that I'm pushing forward for Ward 6.
Yeah, it's actually a really cool website. I got to check it out today. You have some awesome videos up there talking about your policies, your background, which I really appreciated. So keep on the good fight, my man. I really thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Best of luck this upcoming campaign trail for 2022, man. We wish you the best of luck and Godspeed.
I appreciate you both for having me on, and thank you so much for this time.
Cool. We'll see you soon. Appreciate it. That's a good guy, man.
Nice.
A good guy. And I think he's got a like a media degree. And
He does have a media degree.
He's building all that platform himself.
Dude, the platform I was looking at today, it was so interesting and the mobile site was super cool. So, it's just interesting, and the stance that he's taking of starting so early with the campaign trail.
Yeah.
I've worked on different campaigns when I was in college, and starting early is tough because you got to be consistent for a long time.
Yeah.
And that campaign life is something else. It is something else.
Because you're not getting paid for it, man.
No one's get paid. No one gets paid. Everyone's a volunteer.
Get paid, maybe.
I mean, none of us get paid either, but.
So when are you running for mayor?
I'll probably run for mayor in Reno like 2028.
2028?
Maybe 2032.
You give it a go?
100p, bro. I'm just going to be the Reno as fuck campaign.
Nice.
I'm gonna run off the fact that we like to do drugs and party.
Beer and cold brew.
Yeah, yeah. Like beer, cold brew, small businesses. We want communities to thrive.
Are you getting a table slapping?
I'm ready to state my values. I'm for all the freedoms. Do whatever you want.
What do we got coming up?
Tomorrow. What's tomorrow?
Tomorrow we have Saturday.
That's not tomorrow.
I should say Saturday. What's happening Saturday?
Saturday we're gonna be at Exhale Dispensaries. We're gonna be throwing the pop-up party of all pop-up parties. Dude, Rob fucking Van Dam's gonna be there.
I mean, it's
our RVD, bro.
RVD.
He's gonna be pushing. He's gonna be pushing the CBD.
I heard Vice is gonna be in the building.
Listen,
and not like Vegas Vice. I'm talking about like.
I'm hearing everything. Beyonce might roll through. Jay-Z might be there.
I'm gonna be there, bro.
Kanye, Kim Kardashian. Just kidding. JC Coates is gonna be in that bitch. Derek Las Vegas is gonna be there. It's gonna be an awesome event. It's gonna be at 5 to 7 at XL Dispensary, right across the street from Palm's Place. Mm-hmm. It's like you can see it right across the street. If you're at Palm Place, come check it out. We'll be rocking and rolling. We'll have some great deals on our cannabis products. Young Chuck's gonna be in the building, so go check out Young Chuck. Joy's gonna be there. We're gonna have a bunch of people rolling through. It's gonna be a great time.
It's gonna be good.
Oh, and Marnie.
Marnie's gonna be there.
The hemp queen herself.
Vegas hemp queen.
The Vegas hemp queen herself. So it's gonna be super lit. What else are we doing? We go to Oklahoma next week.
Going to Oklahoma next week.
Oh, you know what? We're not gonna be able to do the podcast. I was just thinking about.
I've been thinking about it.
I didn't even realize that. We're gonna have to figure that out, Rick. Maybe we'll shoot like a day before or something. But yeah, maybe we'll shoot it on Wednesday. We'll do an early one next week. But yeah, next week we're gonna be going out to Oklahoma, March 11th through the 20th. If you're out in Oklahoma, hit us up. Yo, we're trying to do some collabos. We're trying to get some video done. We're trying to do some. What else are we trying to do?
We're gonna connect with the community.
We want to do some restaurant reviews. If you got fucking good cold brew, let a brother know. I'll come review it. What else?
That's a wrap, dude.
No, I know we had one more thing that I wanted to talk about.
We got new products coming out soon.
New products coming out soon. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff in the works right now.
Your birthday?
Oh my God, that's what I was gonna talk about. My birthday. Yeah. My birthday. So listen, I got on Instagram the other day. I have been getting hit up because we've been talking about it for like the past month, right? The idea of like, oh, how cool is it that my birthday is on 4/17 Saturday and 4/20 is the next Tuesday, whatever. And so I've never been a big fan of birthdays, but I really think that I would love to throw a birthday party this year for myself and for the culture and cannabis team. We've been working really hard this year, and I think it'd be cool to bring the cannabis community together, just like old times, just like our old time events. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're definitely going to be doing that. We went and looked at a couple spots, so we're kind of nailing things down. But we probably have like 2-3 top options. It's either going to be Friday the 16th or Saturday the 17th. It's invite only, so send me a DM. Maybe we can get you in there. It's going to be a limited amount. It's going to be fun though. I mean, we're going to have food. We're going to have music. There's going to be cannabis flowing. Maybe a couple Tito's and Tito waters with some lime. We'll see how it goes.
It's going to be a birthday party.
It's going to be a birthday party. Maybe some psilocybin for JC.
Ooh, maybe.
You never know. It's going to be a great time. So, stay in touch. Oh, and then so I posted on a thing. I had like almost 80 people DM me yesterday about this.
More and more.
It was 30 when I first said it. Then it went to 50, 60. Listen, guys, you can exaggerate about 15%. Just keep your life rocking and rolling.
There's a variance.
There's always a variance. So yeah, that's gonna be cool. We're gonna make some cool content with that. I think that's it.
That's right.
Road to 10,000 followers. I've been saying this for a while now. You know what, Rick? We're gonna have to cut a video about me talking about road to 10,000 followers. But we're just chugging along. I think I'm at 60.
You're almost 6,500. Almost.
Yeah, I'm almost at 60. I'm at 60. Almost at 6,300. So let's get me to 10,000, yo. Let's get us to 10,000, and I will do the craziest giveaway you've ever seen. The craziest giveaway. I might try to go buy a Tesla and give that shit away if I hit 10,000 followers. I'm not gonna do that. I'm lying. I'm not gonna do that. But all right, I'm done bullshitting.
All right.
That's the Culture and Cannabis Podcast. We'll see you guys. We won't see you guys next Thursday. We might do one Wednesday. We might do it on Friday. We'll keep you updated. But until then, make sure to go check out our YouTube page. Make sure you're subscribing. All that good stuff. Follow me on Instagram at Fulltime Tony. Follow him at jc.co. It's Culture and Cannabis. All that good stuff. And we'll talk to you guys next week. Peace.